WNEP proudly presents the premier outdoor show in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, your window to the great outdoors. Tonight on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life.
Raising fish for sale. We'll look at what it takes to put fish like this in your favorite fishing hole. And we'll have tips you can use to keep them alive and healthy.
The bait's in the bucket. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Ken Hunter and I'm here with Don Jacobs. And Jake, we're here in the backyard,
right,
getting ready to celebrate for the 4th of July. Big weekend here coming up for us, and we are all ready to go. We're decorated, everything is on the table.
Yep, and take a look at this.
Yeah, you've got your specialty going over
we've
here.
got some tube steaks on the grill, otherwise known as hot dogs.
Yeah.
We got some sausage. You know, I'm the protein guy into this, and you make no bones about the fact that you're the sugar guy.
Well, you know, I have my specialty here.
What are you doing here?
I don't want it to get left out. I'm preparing my specialty. It's called cookies on a bun.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
That's sugar and carbohydrates on sugar and carbohydrates.
Oh, no, wait, I'm not done. You got to put some topping on it. You spray about, that much whipping cream on there, and you got yourself a great...
Well, let me tell you, while your arteries are clogging on that, I'll say my artery clogging for this. We've got to get to a story here. While we continue our barbecue on the 4th of July, we found this neat place outside of Hamlin. It's Schultz's Fish Farm. Kevin Schultz invited us over and said, I could teach you a little bit about the business of raising fish and what it takes to put a pond in your own backyard.
Schultz's Fish Hatchery, we stock ponds and lakes, basically.
Is that a growing business?
Definitely, we're putting in ponds. We have 11 more ponds to put in this year. We have 20 right now. We'll have 31 hopefully by the end of the summer. We put a little dye into it. We don't want any algae growth in this. Algae is actually for us a liability. But for a pond owner, algae could be a good thing because algae feeds zooplankton, and the zooplankton are the food for the small fry when the fish hatch out. And a lot of people get rid of it, the algae, when that algae is the beginning of the food chain. But for our perch here, they're on pelletized food. They're dependent on us, not on the zooplankton. Like in a small pond like this with the aeration, I have 3,000 yellow perch, 8 to 10 inches long, which is a tremendous amount of fish compared to a normal pond. We can just grow a lot of fish in a small area, mostly on pelletized food.
When you talk about seining, that's how you get them out of there?
Yes.
Explain that whole process. What are you going to do?
Okay, we just pull a very large net through a pond. Sometimes you get a lot and sometimes you don't. It's difficult. After the fish have, you pull the net through so many times from other orders, they get pretty smart. They'll jump over, they'll go under, any way they can get out. They know what's going on. And then we just seine them out and they go right into our hauling tank, right down to the holding tank. And they're there for 2 days, ready to go out.
How do you get started with somebody?
Well, we have to get a feel on what's in the pond, how big the fish are. If we find out that the perch are stunted, then there's probably too many perch in there. We'll actually suggest putting walleye in, clean up the smaller fish, and then the larger fish will have more food, so they'll grow larger because of it. A very common practice for yellow perch management using walleye. See all the bubbles coming up out there now?
Yep.
They're just rubbing the bottom there.
That's the perch rubbing the bottom?
Yeah, they're thinking which way to go here.
You've got them all scared.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we might get down the end and not get many, and sometimes a lot. Sometimes you really want to go, you have a tendency to go faster with it, and if you go slower, you just get so many more.
Now, how deep is it?
This one's 9 foot. Just goes down to a point at 9 foot on this end down here.
You sell mainly small fish so they grow, or?
People really want the larger fish.
They do already. They want the ones catchable when you...
Yeah, well, an 8 to 10 inch bass will spawn. 8 to 10 inch perch will certainly spawn. They'll spawn before that.
I have to tell you, I haven't seen a fish yet.
You don't see them right till the end.
What's the most you think you've ever had at one time?
253 on it.
Is that right?
Which is hard to believe when there's 3,000 in the pond.
I couldn't believe it the first time.
We actually have to lower the pond to really get a lot out.
I see perch.
Yeah. Great.
Those are nice sized fish.
Yeah, these are 2-year-olds, like I say, and it's just an amazing size for 2-year-olds. Lost the bottom.
And a mess of frogs.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's good.
So these fish are ready to be stocked.
Yep.
Now they're yellow perch.
Yep. Yellow perch, 8 to 10s.
Now when somebody would buy these, they buy them by the dozen, by the singles, or?
We usually sell 10 fish. A minimum of 10 fish, but small orders, they kind of have to wait for the larger orders when we get them all out at the same time. Let's get them back in.
You could get them back in, yeah. And you said there's 3,000 of them there.
Yeah, we got 3,000 in this pond. It's a little overloaded for the summertime, but they're going. They're selling pretty good.
But because you feed them, you don't have to really worry about that, right? I mean, it's not
right. I can control the water. Yeah. Everybody knows that bluegills overpopulate. Unfortunately, some people take too many bluegills out, and the bass do not grow because of it.
Now, what are in here?
6,000 bluegills.
6,000 bluegills?
Yeah. It's always...
How big are they?
Okay. I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're just sampling here, so.
Okay, yeah. And that's what's in here. How many?
6,000.
6,000 of these?
Yep.
And these are bluegills?
These are bluegills. They're young bluegills. These are just from last spring, actually, the first batch that came out.
Now, did you hatch these to eggs and follow the whole process, or do you buy them as fingerlings?
No, we just, we put so many large fish into a pond, they spawn out, then we take the large fish out.
And that is certainly a cool little place there outside of Hamlin.
Yeah.
Schultz's Fish Farm.
Well, you know, Jake, there's a lot of people putting ponds in, too. That's a good place to go to get the fish you want in the ponds.
Yep, yeah. And he has some great ideas on how to keep them healthy. You know, we actually asked him, are they good for the grill? He said, yeah, but some of them are a little too small to eat right yet. As we continue to cook here, we're going to tell you that we have a second part of a story with Kevin coming up in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we do. We're going to look at some cats. Kevin's going to show us how to raise cats, but not the furry kind. That's coming up right after the break.
You got one of my face, don't you?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Chef Ken here just rolling some of these hot dogs over. My assistant Jake over here is working on something else.
You are doing a fine job on those
pretty good, Jake?
On those tubular delights, as we call it. You know, I think we need to get into that second story because a lot of people are sitting waiting to learn more about fish, about how to raise them, how to put them in a pond. Let's go back out to Schultz's Fish Farm outside of Hamlin. Here's Kevin Schultz. What's in here now? Black crappie?
Black crappie and, black crappie in here, yeah.
Okay.
You really need to balance a pond. A small pond is very difficult to balance. Even black crappie, crappie people call it also. Down the south it's crappie, up here it's crappie, or calico bass they'll call it.
Right.
And in a small pond, that can be a real problem. The state actually recommends 12 acres or larger for black crappie. And when you put them in there, what happens is, in a small pond, the water temperature changes real fast. So the male's on the nest, guarding the nest, and the water temperature gets cold in the spring, all of a sudden it gets cold. That water temperature in a small pond will change fast. He'll come off the nest, the eggs die. No reproduction that year in that small pond. The big lake, that doesn't happen. The water changes slowly because it's such a large body. And so they'll have reproduction. So the bass have that same amount of food each year, that small fry that come off. In a small pond, one year they have food, a lot of food from a black crappie, the next year they don't have it.
Okay.
So it throws the balance off, and that's what you're trying to do, is balance it. So one year you get really good growth. The next year there's a lot more bass because the food was there the year before to feed them, and now everything's out of whack.
Well, it's enough for show and tell.
Yeah. Look, got a lot of grass clippings on them. But...
They can live and grow, get big, they just may not spawn, right?
Well, but then it's boom or bust. Might be 1 year out of 1 year out of 10 that it spawns, and all of a sudden there's just too many black crappie in the pond,
Right.
And it's overloaded, and then you got a problem.
So that's a black crappie ready for stocking at this point, right?
Yeah. Just a lot of nice color in them.
And people love fishing for them because not only do they taste good, but they're just a real good fighter for a panfish, aren't
yep,
they?
they're a scrapper. Yep, definitely. We'll just get them started. I'll give them a little bit. The funny thing is, if you bring the golf cart a little closer, they hear it when it's feeding time. We actually use the floating food because then we can see what's going on. We can see how much food they're eating, whatever they eat in 20 minutes, and then all the food should be gone off of the pond. If there's extra food, that's really important for people that are feeding their fish too. If there's extra food left on the pond, that's going to create algae, ammonia problems, things like that. Feed for 20 minutes, all the feed should be gone, and leave them, even if they're hungry, leave them that way.
I was just going to say, it's probably instead of overfeeding them, leave them if they're hungry, right?
Yep, better off if they're just hungry then. Want to try the cast net here?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay. Want to grab it, Heather?
4, 5, 6. And now, is there a
Yeah, you swing, and then throw it up in the air.
like that?
Yep, and should unfold.
Okay, ready?
Okay, now pull it hard.
Well, I'm feeling fish.
All right.
I'm feeling fish.
You did it.
Look. Yeah.
Wow.
See, now if I was on the island, I'd be a full man.
There you go. You're eating dinner tonight.
These are largemouth bass?
Yep. 8 to 10. You see some different sizes, some males, and we can get some females out of there. We'll just throw the small ones back in. They're not ready.
So what are you suggesting to people that want to stock these? Is this will be big enough to catch next year?
8 to 10 inches. They're ready to spawn, and also they're large enough. The larger 8 to 10s, they're large enough that, like a 1 pound bass, 2 pound bass, 3 pound bass, they're not going to eat that size.
Okay, you're worried about that too.
Yeah,
Obviously.
if you take a small one like this, you can actually almost put them right inside his mouth. If that was a 1 pound bass, this would be gone.
So you have to take all that into consideration when you're stocking a pond.
Yep.
Why would you stock something that's going to be gobbled up in a couple minutes, right?
Right. It's just a waste of money. This is the male. He's smaller. He's not as deep. This is a female. She's got eggs in her. She's deeper, and she's also larger. She's the same age.
And that's the big thing anymore. Everybody wants bass in their ponds.
Yeah.
Bass, 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 bass.
Some bigger cats in here.
Catfish must be popular too.
Yeah, we saw a lot of catfish. They'll actually go on the bottom and they'll turn the leaves over. They'll stir it up a little bit, but not enough to get it muddy. But they'll stir it up, and so that those leaves on the bottom are getting turned over. They're getting a little oxygen into them. They'll break down a little bit faster, and catfish will do that. The other thing is, even dead fish that go to the bottom, catfish will actually grab it on their side and spin around and rip up that fish and then start eating it. He's got a little mark on him. He got bit.
He's been fighting a little bit.
Yeah, and they're so strong, aren't they?
And they're a good fighting fish, so I can imagine people wanting to put these in their ponds.
Even in a small pond, these channel cats will grow up to 20 pounds.
Wow.
We have a friend down the road that we stocked, and that was quite a while ago, and he has them up to 18 pounds right now. It's a half-acre pond. There's only about 30 in this tank. But I wanted to get a big male.
You got one of them, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Here.
He swam into your net. See, now kids and people would go crazy to be able
Yeah,
All right, so that's
he's quite the fighter there.
Come here. Come here. He is strong, that's for sure. Now I got you. That's a male?
That's a big male, yep. He just got poked by another one, too.
They're hardy fish, too, aren't they?
Yep, they're strong.
Thanks again, Kevin, for all the wonderful tips and spending the day with us. It's a great place, Ken, and he's always busy, and he's expanding, so more and more people are putting those ponds in.
It must be if he's still expanding. So, well, listen, if you want to get a hold of Kevin, you can contact him at Schultz's Fish Farm. The phone number is 570-226-7494, or you can go to his website at buybass.com.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Jake, is it true that we're going to put this recipe up on the website?
I want to see you take a bite of that. Never mind.
But you don't have any topping for it.
I think maybe one of these on top of it would even look pretty good. Now these are red, white, and blue for the 4th of July.
That is very patriotic.
Oh, and icing's melting.
That's perfect. It'll make
That's going
just a
on
perfect topping for that.
Absolutely. Sure. And I'm going to take a picture. That's what I'm going to do.
And speaking of pictures, we're going to go take a look at some of the pictures you folks have sent in. Let's see what you have.
We opened this week's edition of Pennsylvania People and Places with Brad Seeger of Elysburg. Brad shot this 20-pound gobbler with a 9-inch beard on the opening day of the spring season. He's been hunting since he was 12, and this is his first turkey. Congratulations, Brad. Frank Wader on the left and his son Jim Wader on the right of Mayfield are seen here with their cooperative spring harvest. Jim called this gobbler into range for Frank while hunting in Gibson, Susquehanna County. Great going, guys. Next we see 14-year-old Sean Connolly of Beach Lake and his first spring gobbler. Sean's bird weighed 18 pounds and had a 9¼ inch beard. He was hunting in Lake Ariel, Wayne County with his father Pat, and said that the turkey came right into the decoys just like in the hunting videos. E.J. Greenup of Falls is seen here with a 15-inch brown trout which he caught while fishing with his dad and brothers at Lake Winola in May. E.J. was fishing with a gold mealworm when this trout struck. Nice going, E.J. John Allegretto on the right and his dad are seen here with John's first buck. He shot this 10-point, 185-pound buck on the opening day of the deer season close to Hazleton. John was shouldering a 7mm08 as the firearm of choice. The pair are having the deer mounted for future memories. Jake Carpenter is seen here with his girlfriend Janice Temple of Muncie and the pair of 7-pointers they harvested early on the opening morning of the rifle season. They were just outside of Lairdsville. Great going. Here's a photo from the Weird and Wacky folder. Teresa Eady was fishing with her fiance David Marcus at Barney's Lake for trout when she landed this crayfish by surprise. It seems the power bait she was using didn't interest the trout too much, but was enough to entice this Pennsylvania lobster onto the hook. Great photo, and thanks for sending it to us. Let's close things out with a beautiful photo of a mama bear and her cubs. Amy Watson of Lakewood sent us this photo of the 3 Bruins just hanging out at camp in Pointel. Amy tells us she got within 65 feet of Mama and her cubs when she got up on the stump and gave a scary look as if to say, "Come just one step further, I dare you." Doing the safe and smart thing, Amy backed off and watched the 3 walk off into the woods. Thanks for the wonderful photo, Amy. And with this, we'll put a close to this week's edition of Pennsylvania People and Places.
We want to say a big thank you to everybody for sharing their photos with us. And
you're going to share that with us, too.
Yeah,
right?
We're going to share that. Great recipe here, cookie on a bun. Yeah. I'm sure this is going to be a big 4th of July hit. No question about it.
I have one thing to say. If I'm going to meet my maker, because of what I put into my mouth as far as food. I'm going with pork and beef and hot peppers. I'm not going with sugar.
I'll have 1 or 2 of those as well. and then, of course, this is the dessert.
Oh my gosh! He ate the cookie
Cookie on a bun,
sandwich.
folks. It's fantastic.
While I get sick, we're going to take a short break. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. The real culinary delights are now done. Now take a bite of that hot
I'll tell you, Jake, this is it right here.
hot sausage sandwiches. Are you kidding me?
Hot sauce. How about just plain sausage?
You got a plain one. You got a little wimpy sausage. Right now, I want to show you again how you can get in touch with Schultz's Fish Farm. There's the phone number on the screen, and of course, it's www.buybass.com. I can't talk. I got a mouthful.
Well,
what are we giving away?
Let me talk about this tackle box that we're going to give away. It's from Shakespeare. Nice tackle box, Jake. It's not a great big one, perfect for someone just getting into some fishing. And look at this. We're even supplying 2 lures to start off with. Now, you can't beat that. All those compartments, great tackle box.
Comes to us from Shakespeare.
Okay.
That's a good sausage sandwich.
Yes, it is. I'll try one of those, but not the hot ones.
There's a card for you.
My goodness, I think I can read that. That's Dennis Smith from Lewisburg. I like that. Smith is so easy.
I hope he's a fisherman.
I hope so. Yeah.
And of course, we wish you the very best in the weekend of July 4th here, and you have a great day tomorrow too. That's a holiday,
Enjoy
right?
your holidays.
You guys, you don't paint on July 5th.
Every day's a holiday.
Oh, that's right. We're outdoor writers. Every day's a holiday.
Yep.
But for everybody here from WNEP's Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, we wish you the very best in the great outdoors and a great July 4th weekend.
So long.
So long now. You got one of my things, don't you?
Yeah.
Here, he swam into your net. See, now kids and people will go crazy.
And
All right, so that's...
he's quite the fighter there.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
Catch the big one.